Hello, welcome back to Bensushi LiveNoding. In this episode, let's talk about edges and connectivity of points. So let's get started right away with let's start with a vector P. So vector P field um, will let you create some kind of field, 3D field of points in 3D. And then let's try 4x4x4 and then right click and then connect to viewer draw. And by default, it's only giving you this bunch of points. Let me increase the size. And these points, let me save really quick. So SV edges connectivity. So like before, if we want to connect between points, we can check the index. So use the viewer index, connect the points, and you should be able to see the index number. So this one 0, 1, 2, 3, right? 0, 1, 2, 3. If we want to connect it, we can use this edge indices. We just provide it with a list input, make it 2, and I'm gonna use list join. For now, let's just use list input, plug this into the edges indices. So let's connect 0 and 1. So 0 and 1 connects the dots, right? So that's easy enough. If you want to have more, you use list join and then just continue with this connection. So connecting 0 and 1, 2 and 3, we get that 0 and 1, 2 and 3, and so on and so on. And you can keep doing this until you are happy. You can actually kind of build a pattern, right, with the edges. It's kind of interesting actually. This is quite unique of Sverchok. You can just keep doing this, and if you want to make like a crisscrossing of edges, you can also do that pretty easily. There is actually a bunch of algorithm in Sverchok that's dealing with edges. Like for example, my favorite, of course, is the KDTree, closest edges. If you just supply this with vertex points, you're gonna get some kind of edges indices. So this is there's some kind of algorithm here that's gonna give you what you need. So let's see the data. You see, it'll give you like edge indices. If I just plug it to that guy, we're gonna have this. This is the default. The result can be varies depending on how far or close together the distance between points. Let's say you just want the edges that's kind of horizontal or vertical. You don't want the diagonal one. How do you do that? So we know that distance between this point and this point, they are pretty much similar. And the one that's diagonal is usually longer than the one that's next to each other in this kind of arrangement. So we can play around with this max distance until we get the distance that kind of correct. So I need to try it like this. Nope. Oh, actually this one connect everything. Okay, that's not good. You want maybe just a single connection number. So let's try. Oh, it's a little bit tricky, but I'm pretty sure we can get the right number. So maximum number can be, okay, apparently maximum number can be higher. Skipping, we don't skip anything, but this minimum and maximum distance basically shouldn't go too low, or shouldn't go too high rather. So 0, looks like this is the right value somehow for this one to work. If I increase the number, it's gonna stop working, but we can actually, if we actually change the distance here also, it's not gonna work so easily. But here it's actually working kind of what I wanted. It creates only the connection between 2 points that closer to each other. We can bake it and we're gonna get this result, right? I think this is kind of nice and all connected. And if we use let me think what we can use. Skin modifier. Let's try skin modifier. Skin modifier, and then edit mode, select all, Control A. You're gonna have this kind of 3D, what do you call this? 3D waffle, kind of like a toy, kid's toy, right? This is kind of nice. And what else can we do here? With this connectivity, if we are changing the vector here, if we randomize, see, the connection between the points will stay the same, but we are randomizing the points, but the connection is the same. So just simply by doing that, we get some kind of new design, which is pretty cool. Definitely, there's a lot of opportunity here to design your 3D mesh. So that's more like a Voronoi-ish look, or some people call it dual mesh. Or actually that's more like a Voronoi, just the edges. Maybe it need clean up in some areas, but still looking quite nice. So what else? What else can we do from here? I'm gonna save it. We can apparently also use something called polygon boom. So polygon boom will separate all the edges. This is very cool, definitely very cool. And after you separate all the edges, what you can do, you can use something like pipe. So vertices and edges and pipe, and then you can now play around with this pipe. Let's see, this pipe is a little bit of mystery. Every time I use it, try rounded one is clearer. Okay, that looks like a lot of cylinder, and then you need to, okay, maybe adjust this and then adjust the length. Now you have kind of another kind of design. If I bake it, now we end up with 144 objects. We don't want that. We want to just mesh join. So we're gonna have a single object now if we bake it. And this single object is also actually pretty special, because you can duplicate it and smooth it, and you get something that looks like a balloon. Especially if you use something like displacement modifier. So that's kind of, I call it, it's like a balloon, and you can smooth it, right? It's like a balloon. So yeah, there's a lot of variations you can create using all this just a simple basic algorithm. KDTree closest edges. There is another KDTree. This is one, KDT closest vertices. I hardly use this one, a little bit more complex, but it's a powerful one also. So you can see here you are manually connecting the edges using your own just provided inputs, 2 values, or you can also use some kind of algorithm that you create. But here you are using KDTree. With KDTree you can kind of doing this combo of nodes, and you can end up with a lot of interesting result. And I'm just showing you the basic. So I guess this is fun to try yourself. This is just a couple of examples. This one, okay, this one not so interesting. This looks like toothpick. I remember at some point I also create like a Pocky. Oh yeah, I forgot. There's one more. Here, if you push it beyond 1, it's gonna go over. Now you have kind of interesting, kind of like a, if you are in Hong Kong, you create this kind of structure to build to make a building. See, if I randomize this, you're gonna end up with kind of interesting result there also. So there's a couple. This is all related to edges connectivity, and this is unique in Sverchok. You can easily do this thanks to frameworks like Sverchok. But there you go. That's hopefully interesting for you, and you can try it yourself and then make modifications. So thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye.